Today's video is sponsored by Bandletic. Yeah, Bandletic is a watch band creator. I think that we as artists sometimes look at watches and wearables as very utilitarian, and we don't realize that sometimes there's better offerings, and that's where Bandletic comes in. So they sent me these two watch bands to review, but we're just going to go ahead and kind of do a quick unboxing overview in general, and we're going to test them out. So I currently rock a Bandletic watch band on my Garmin Fenix 7X Pro Sapphire, and it's been great. The Fenix comes with these rubber bands, which are very comfortable and durable. However, just because I'm one for athleticism and being outside and ease of use, that's really the niche that Bandletic has. Is they've got this really cool foil lock system where it just comes open and your watch band comes off, and there's a magnet on the inside that basically attaches. And it's really simple and durable. I thought Apple had really come to something really cool when they invented this, and then it loops around, and I think this is called the Alpine Loop, which is really cool. But whenever I got a hold of the Bandletic unit, I was like, wow, this is really cool. I mean, metal, ballistic nylon, it's got a magnet on the inside with composite material, and the printing's really nice. And again, I'm one for really good design. So let's go ahead and do a quick unboxing of two watch bands today, and we're going to implement and install them on my Apple Watch Ultra first generation and my Garmin Fenix 7X Pro Sapphire. So let's get started. For those of you who don't know, I have been an average watch collector now for about 15 years. I have had well over 300 watches, and in that time I have gained to experience a lot of overview with regards to what makes a quote-unquote good watch for the money, what is just a waste of money, Rolex, and basically what makes a good product. Now, as you see, I've got a huge collection of earbuds. I just like good design. So Bandletic sent me these, and I thought, wow, that's a really cool idea. And as I just noted before, with the way their lock system works, you can place the lock system on this side or this side. This is the Garmin Fenix 7X Pro Sapphire. You just lift up on this unit and it comes apart, and the watch is then disengaged, and that is really cool overall. Very comfortable. I've had this particular unit now for about 2.5-3 months, and very little wear on it, and I wear it just about every single day, even whenever I sleep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and focus on the Garmin unit first, because here's my Apple unit. We're going to place this to the side. Packaging's really good. I love this. So this is what I like. You can see the product, you can see the watch reference, you can see the product on the inside. It opens up to the proverbial star of the show, secured with small rubber bands. I can access it very easily. I don't have to get a knife and slice my arm off whenever I'm opening up packaging, which I can't stand, especially with batteries. Batteries are probably the worst. So this is a patented technology, opens simply by lifting, and it connects simply by going back. It's got a little tiny magnet on the inside, and it just connects, and then it's really secure. I mean, you're not going to get that apart without some type of ulterior motive of destruction. But yeah, here's the patented hook, opens simply by lifting. It's called the Fidlock. I said Fido, but basically it's Fidlock system. Easy one-hand opening, magnetic self-closing, patented technology. And what's nice about modern watches, especially these wearables, is you can go in and you can disconnect the band very easily. So what I'm going to do, just like I did before, the short end goes on the bottom. Clicks. and it clicks at the top. I have a smaller wrist. My wrist is 6.5 to 6.65 inches, depending on how much water I've drank for the day. So we're gonna go ahead and unloop that. I like the green, and it does come in a myriad of different colors. Just check on Amazon.com. I'll put the link in the description below. Probably blue, black, orange. I'm not sure about red. This is the army green, which I think really goes well with the all black of the Phoenix Pro. Comes around, and it locks in place. If you need to have a micro adjustment, it does have this right here. You can go ahead and cinch that up slightly, reattach the Velcro, and now you've got something that'll last on your greatest bike ride or your most rugged hikes. Very nice. This is a composite material, whereas the other Bandletic unit I have has a combination. The hinge itself is made of steel, spring steel, I surmise, and composite material on the inside. These bands are not cheap. They're about $40 for the Garmin unit, and same with the Apple Watch unit. $40 is quite a bit of money to spend for a band on a watch. However, whenever you compare it to an Apple Watch band, Apple Watch bands are about $80, and this is what you get for 80 bucks. This is an actual Apple branded unit, and 80 bucks is what they cost. I think the Garmin units are up there I think they're 40 or 50. So whenever you price compare to those, the Bandletic unit with all of its technology is actually price conscious and a better deal. And it just opens up just like that. You don't sit there and have to fight with things. And for those of you who are on the Apple side of the equation, here is the Apple Watch Ultra. First generation. I've had this since it first came out, I believe going on 3 years ago, and it still works fantastic. I go on a 5-year cycle for my electronics, and I treat this as an electronic. It is a wearable. However, I expect at least 10 years out of this watch before I have to do anything. That's probably a little overzealous, because lithium-ion batteries don't last as long as you would like, and this does have a lithium-ion battery on the inside. However, that's not why we're here. We're looking at the Bandletic unit. I chose orange because orange is one of my favorite colors. Green is my favorite color, as you can see. Orange is number 2. I like number 2 orange. So let's go ahead and disconnect the old Alpine loop from the Apple Watch Ultra. Now they're, I believe, up to Ultra 3. This particular unit, it slides right out. Press the button on the other side, and it slides right out. Bandletic uses really good quality, and I'm not knocking Apple. I mean, the thing is I purchased the same band. Actually, let me go ahead and price. I'm going to show you something really quick. This is a band that I purchased off of, I believe, eBay, and I paid $4.99 for it. And if you compare and contrast with the actual Apple unit, you can see it's almost exactly construction, materials, everything. So whenever it comes to Apple Watch bands, definitely look for alternatives as it applies to this particular unit. And what's really cool though, if you look, they've used the same all the way back. I believe this is the Apple Watch SE. And if you look, you can use these bands even on the Apple Watch SE, which is really cool. That also applies to the Bandletic. So even though this states Apple Watch Ultra 49mm, I believe this is a 46 SE. I can't even see what that says. This particular watch is at the end of its life cycle because the battery got toasted inside of a hot tub. Little mental note, never take your Apple Watch inside of a hot tub because the glue is heat activated and you will basically fry the glue and the watch, and that's exactly what happened. I tried to replace the battery, but it didn't work. So I digress. Getting on to the Bandletic unit. I love, again, how they package this. It slid right out of the box. You get to actually hold the unit almost instantaneously, and I love the minimalist packaging. Again, Fido lock, easy one-hand opening, magnetic self-closing, and it's patented, which I love. And if you have any issues here is the little symbol. Just click it with your phone. It'll take you to the website, and you can probably see how to install the band. But I've already done this more than once. Here is my Apple Watch Ultra. And you can change the screen to match the colors. Let's go ahead and get rid of this plastic protection. Now this is metal. This is very similar to my other Bandletic. Yep. Here's the other one. You can see technology is similar. And this is really cool. It's got a myriad of different materials. So it looks like we have titanium or some type of really hard metal, maybe spring steel. That might be titanium. Then we've got nylon and ballistic nylon, composite material, and spring steel right here. And it looks like a rubberized patch showing the branded unit, Bandletic. Bandletic, obviously a play on words of magnetic band. I'm sure they tried many iterations of Bandletic, from band magnetic to magnetic band. Woohoo! That's from the 80s. And then finally landed on Bandletic. So let's go ahead and install. This probably might be my flavor flav. Clicks really in, very secure. Accents the unit very nicely. Let's go ahead and unhook it. Again, it just unhooks, right? I don't have to fiddle around with it. Comes around. And here is the Bandletic unit installed. Very comfortable, don't have any binding. Installed very quickly, and if I decide at any point in time I need to switch over to Oldie, I can. And any other band as well. I really like the one on the Garmin. I mean, literally it just clicks right in place. Very nice, very durable. Again, that $40 price point, $40 to $50 price point, you kind of balk at to begin with. But again, when you price compare to branded bands, such as this one, this Garmin unit at, I think, $40 or $50, then you kind of look at it and go, well, I think I'd rather have the Bandletic unit. And again, that Apple branded unit, just so flimsy. I mean, you can't even consciously, there's no comparison between this, which again is a Apple branded Alpine Loop. I believe it's the Alpine Loop, which is very comfortable. But when you price compare and the quality and overall and that patented technology. Now, how is this going to wear? Now, I've had this one now, like I said, this is the original one that I had on the Garmin. I've had this one now for about 3 months, 2.5, 3 months, and it's been fantastic. No complaints, none at all. I really enjoy it. And being ballistic nylon, you think that it would smell after you've done workouts and stuff, and you can wash it. But overall, I'm really satisfied with both of these units with the Bandletic watch bands installed. So, very cool. We might expand a little bit on the whole watch aspect or add another component to the channel, but overall, I think this is a winner chicken dinner. Yeah, you can see I have kind of a theme going here. Here's the orange. And for those of you who think that I'm just with regards to wearables, not analog, but digital wearables, as you see, I've got a whole collection of traditional watch bands for my watch band collection, from metal to leather to canvas to ballistic nylon, from greens to reds to blues to stripes to leather. You name it, I am one for good design. And here's one of my traditional automatic watches. This is a automatic movement. It's got a mechanical movement, no battery at all. You just shake it and it basically winds the watch. And yeah, see, like right now it's not running. Now it's running. It's got a little weight that goes around and winds the mainspring. Pretty cool. You just wear it. Never needs a battery. I've got quite a few pieces like that, and maybe Bandletic makes watch bands for traditional watches. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. Go to bandletic.com or go to amazon.com, and yeah, give Bandletic some love. especially during these holidays. Maybe you have a significant other that has an Apple Watch and you really want to zazz it up. Zazz. That's a dad phrase. My apologies. Definitely to zhuzh it up. That's more of a modern term, I believe. So I don't even know which one I'm going to wear today. I'll probably go with the Garmin. I usually go with the Garmin. Okay. And one of the things I really wanted to make sure and show as far as the Bandletic features, not only has a Velcro closure, but the absolute gem of this particular line of watch bands has to do with this right here. This is the locking mechanism, and I know I've already showed sort of an overview of it, but I just wanted to show you the complexity and the simplicity. So the complexity of look, but the simplicity of function. And you can look at it and say, wow, that just looks so complex, and it gives it a kind of a higher value perception, that perception of value, and you're looking at it going, wow, that must cost, quote unquote, cost a lot of money. But whenever you actually actuate the arm mechanism and it opens up and you see how simplistic in nature it is, it just basically hooks, and it's got a small magnet on the inside, and whenever you're putting it on, it just clicks and it doesn't come off. It's got that patented, I believe it's FIDLOCK, Fidlock. I wanted to say Flowlock, but it's not. I believe it's FIDLOCK, and I like that logo. That's really cool. And on the Apple Watch, it's made of metal, and depending on which watch you buy, or I'm sorry, watch band you buy. Now this is an alternate one for the Garmin. This is one that I already had, and it has the metal band similar to the Apple unit. And on the other Garmin strap, this is the one that they sent me recently, this has a different, an alternate that is not metal. It is composite materials, but it also, it's got, looks like a little hook right there, and it goes and it just, it hooks. And whenever you go and put it on, it's just so elegant. You can take it off really easily. You're putting it on and it just basically snaps on, and that's it. On other watch bands, you're fiddling with it, the weight of the watch kind of pulls it off your wrist, and it's kind of a hassle sometimes, especially with the Apple Watches and my Samsung watch. Now, on the Apple Watch, it is just an elegant, I mean, it's so elegant looking. The colors are very vibrant, and I'm sure over time you'll get a little bit of weathering and wear, which will give it sort of that rugged, that rugged elegance. But what's nice is, if you do not own a Garmin, if you do not own an Apple Watch, then they do sell these for your Samsung Galaxy watches. So definitely go to Bandletic.com or go to Amazon and type in Bandletic. That's BANDLETIC. And you can shop till your heart's content. I'm sure that currently there are some sales, which there are always sales on products, and you can definitely find the band to fit your watch. Okay, so what I wanted to do really quick is, just because I like transparency, here is Bandletic.com. You can see they've got a myriad of offerings up here, from Samsung to Garmin to Apple Watch bands. They cover, look at the series, they cover all the way back to Series 1. Gosh, the Ultras up to Ultra 3, different watch sizes. Same thing with Garmin. A myriad of different watch SKUs, Samsung watches, and they even do Google Fitbits. Pretty awesome. Website's very easy to see. They've got lots of high-resolution photos for you to decide, and they don't currently sell watch bands for traditional watches, which is kind of a bummer, but they've created their niche, and I understand they're going to probably stick to it. Yeah, they've got different $29.99, $45, $29.99. They're best sellers, Apple Watch bands. Yeah, they're really cool. And they've got different, looks like a different locking system too. This one looks like it gets pressed into the sides and then releases. That's pretty cool. Like I said, different colors. That has like a mountain. Very cool. These are nice. Bandletic makes really good stuff, and at $45, just so you can price compare. Let's price compare really quick. Apple.com, watch, Apple Watch bands, sport band, $49 just for the silicone. Here's the okay, so yeah, this is crazy. The terracotta alpine loop is $100 on apple.com. Yeah. So that'll kind of give you a little bit of a perspective as far as price conscious offerings. Or for basically half, you can get a Bandletic unit. So click down in the description below the links and go give Bandletic some love. And a big thanks to Bandletic for sponsoring this video today. Big shout out because I am, of course, a fan of really good design, and I'm typically one of function over form. I like simplicity, I like strong, I like things that work, and Bandletic is doing a lot of things right with regards to their products. I would be interested in seeing them come out with possibly a line of keychains that you could detach really easily for keys that possibly you need to detach on a constant basis. This locking mechanism is really strong, or even backpack clips. That's a really great idea as well. I'm sure they're looking into that. If not, please contact me, Bandletic. I am a product designer and I would love to help you out. The reality is this particular video, although not directly applicable to art, I think really shows the diversity of the channel, because we look at art in a different way. Art, to me, and design and overall spectrum of products really needs to be investigated, and you just can't. I mean, like Bandletic, like this whole product right here, this whole band. There's a lot of engineering that goes into this, from sizing to tolerances to fitting it to existing products to patent to filing patents. And art is involved. People like myself and yourself that follow this channel, the whole aspect of design and sketching something out, drawing something, creating something, prototyping something, moving it into production, getting it approved, getting it through all of the red tape, and finally getting it into the marketplace. It's no different for a toy like this. I mean, toys like this have the same production arc. You have all the time spent in reference and product development and sketching, and then you go into 3D modeling and printing, and then you go into production and all the engineering inside of this, and making it to where it has a light in its rear end. But this is just a really good example of exactly what this whole channel is about. It's about diversity, and I think that the further we go, the further we investigate different products, from traditional art, which is what you see behind me, to digital art, to 3D art, to product design, to package design. All these things really are what this channel is about. Now, do I review products that sometimes skew a little farther away from the art foundation? Sure, but I talked about that as being a rounding or a just an additional element that helps fund the channel, because at the present time I haven't been able to make as many videos as I would like, but that's going to be changing soon. Super excited to be offering some tutorials at the first of the year, and also we're going to be launching some other brush packages and stuff for digital media. So super excited about those things. Stay tuned, definitely. But again, thanks to Bandletic for sponsoring this video today, and definitely keep an eye on the channel, because we're going to be posting more and more drawing videos, more and more review videos, and just some observational videos. I think that sometimes when you get mired down in all the stuff, I mean, all the stuff you got to do, good grief. Review this, review that, up and down, got work, got family, got to repair the house, all that other stuff, we don't really recognize what's going on around us. And I live in a very beautiful place, and I'm super excited to share that with you guys here in the next, upcoming year. We're going to be doing some hiking, we're going to be doing some biking, we're going to be doing some examination of the world around us, looking at different textures and, what applies to the art world. So, thank you guys, and we'll see you next time, all right? Have a good one. Bye. Click on the link below in the description and type in Michael10 at checkout for an additional 10% off.